welcome to the Application Delivery How-To video series. My name is Joey Coakley, and today we're going to cover the topic of how to autoscale app capacity with AWS autoscaling groups. In an AWS cloud implementation, Avi can natively understand autoscaling groups. This allows some flexibility with regards to application scaling. For instance, if you have an existing autoscaling group policy that's managed by AWS, we'll pick up on instance count changes and adjust the pool accordingly. However, what if the data that you want to trigger a scale out or scale in is unavailable? For instance, maybe you'd like to scale out based off of connections per second or latency. Maybe you want to look for more troubling signs like a TCP0 window from your backend servers. Avi can trigger changes to your instance count based off of these metrics. We do this by configuring an alert and a subsequent alert action, which will trigger a scaling operation. In today's demo, I'll show you how you can use Avi's advanced metrics to trigger a scale-out of your AWS autoscaling group. Let's get started. Okay, so we're here in the controller, and before we get into the application details and configuration, one thing I want to show you is if you are working with autoscaling groups within AWS, inside your AWS Cloud Connector, you'll want to make sure that you select enabling SQS for autoscaling groups monitoring. This allows us to pick up on changes to the ASG count much faster than if we had to poll AWS for that information. So that the polling interval is defined here, but this is not used if SQS is being used. So let's take a quick look. I have a pool for my Hello World application. I have this pool defined. If I look in the servers here, I just see it's tied to an autoscaling group here. I currently have 2 pool members. I did configure some alerts. Recall that in order for us to autoscale, then we configure alerts, and when those alerts trigger, then we have some sort of action that we can do. So here I've defined these 2 alerts. One it's focusing on the pool, and the other focusing on the virtual service itself. And we take a look in here. I opted that I want to use metrics here. This is for a pool object. I'm tying it directly to this Hello World pool. I do want to specify that this is an autoscale alert. Then for the metric that I want to fire off of is this L4 server sum of lossy requests. This includes the TCP0 window that I was alluding to earlier. So if I have within 5 minutes 10 or more 0 window messages, then I want this alert to fire. So I have this for the pool, and then I also have this for the virtual service. These are configured exactly the same. The last thing that we need to do is back in the pool configuration, you have an autoscaling policy. So here is where I can define, okay, what alerts would fire for a scale out operation and one for a scale in. For this demo, I'm just going to do a scale out operation. I'll add these here and save. And last thing I need to do is generate some traffic. So I'm going to use good old Apache Bench to kick this off and report back in a few minutes to see what our server count looks like. Okay, I'm back. And after a couple of minutes of allowing Apache Bench to run, it looks like I've scaled out twice now. If we take a look at our pool, and we can see here that our alert fired. I can view this alert and see that my sum of lossy requests was a value of 147, and I had a threshold of 10. Under my events, I can also see that a scale out, server scale out was called for, and a server auto scale out complete was done. And here under my servers, I now have 4 instead of 2. So this concludes the demo on using Avi for autoscaling. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out the other videos in our Application Delivery How-To video series.